Boy and howdy. What time is it?
Oh God, I don't even know.
Daddio time.
9:23. Oh, it's
No, it's
Daddy.
Daddio
Yeah.
time. It's
Oh, yeah.
Daddio clock. It's Daddio clock. Fuck. God damn it.
Man, we're
Sorry. Well,
Jeez.
I just
You
said fuck. God damn
you
it.
take a week off, and then we're falling apart over here. It helps that I got back at 2 a.m. last night.
Oh yeah, sure. I saw. Would you grab a fun soda? Something that Glenn Tickle
Yeah,
fastidiously likes to do.
you're so thrilled. You're so thrilled about
The Yoda Coke
now.
Zero
My
Star Wars
question
can.
is: was there supposed to be a Star Wars this year? Like, was there one planned? And then
Oh,
they
okay.
scrapped it, but they forgot to tell Coke. They're like, "Hey, actually, we're taking a year off, so we don't need a bunch of Star Wars branded Coke products this summer."
No,
But
there.
Coke's like, "Actually, no, sorry, we already printed them up, so we know you don't have a new one coming out."
Well, what I don't understand, I can answer this a little bit. They're re-releasing New Hope in the theaters.
Oh, is that it?
Yeah, and
A lot of stuff's getting re-released this
but I'm not. We're 2 years shy of the 50th anniversary. One, because I know that. Two, because my dad's like, hey, for the 50th anniversary of Smokey and the Bandit, do you want to go do the run with me in my 77 Trans Am?
Uh-huh.
Because that is the big movie of 77 for him. But yeah, so they're doing New Hope in theaters.
I bet the roads are going to be crowded as hell, man. Just
Bootleggers.
Just bumper to bumper Trans Ams as far as the eye can see.
You joke. They do a Trans Am National every year where they pick.
I know you little perverts are out there.
I've never done it.
You do it.
Vince Vaughn did it the year my dad did it for the 40th anniversary. 10 years ago. Yeah, but he's become one of those.
I know. I mean, I was never a big fan of Vince Vaughn. It's not like I'm disappointed in him.
This is not to shit on Vince Vaughn, but
Swingers was pretty important to me as like
he's pretty close to that dude.
But
like, that's not the thing that I learned working at Second City. We would have a lot of famous people. So the time I worked there was just the ETC stage and the main stage. That's how you're broken up in the wait staff and the bar staff.
Mm-hmm.
ETC is the smaller stage that is just right in the back end of the main stage. If you've never been to Gapper's Alley and North and Claiborne, it's a great. I mean, it is history. Like you walk in there, and when I had visited,
all the times I've been to Chicago, I've never made it out.
There's free improv. There used to be free improv sets on Friday nights, I think, so you can see the main cast work on the new material, or you can try to get a not sold out ticket to one of those two shows because both stages are producing the comedy stars of today, and tomorrow and blah blah blah. But when you're there working, you get a lot of famous people that are just coming through to see the show. Like sometimes you have 3 nights in a row where you see Lorne Michaels, Seth Meyers, Craig Shoemaker. Chef Miles, it's Steve Higgins. So you have Shoemaker, Myers, and Lorne Michaels, and our bosses have to be like, hey, servers who also might be improvisers or actors, this is not an opportunity to drop your headshot. Or be weird. Don't be weird. Don't be weird. Don't get a photo. Don't ask for an autograph. We hear about any of this. We see any of this. There's speculation that any of this occurs. You will be let go on the spot. So within my first week working there, I had that, which is the reason why I moved to Chicago and wanted to work there, is to be on the trajectory of a path that is commonly used for SNL in some way, shape, or form. So that was all happening immediately. But over my time working there, people like Tom Hanks and Rita Wilson and Second City.
And they were like, we saw you from across the room. We love your vibe.
We want to buy you a drink. How you feeling?
You're Chet's dad. Is that what you're telling me?
Yes. But the famous photo where Tom Hanks took a dude who passed out at a bar's phone and took a photo with him, that happened this trip.
I don't know what you're talking.
in
I mean,
Chicago. It's an online
the
like viral
sentence
thing.
pretty much explains the event. So
Yeah,
we don't need-
America's Dad, Tom Hanks. But anyway, so the Second City main stage is a pretty small venue. Like it's not that big. You are sitting 6 to a table sometimes, like shoulder to shoulder. It is small.
sounds horrible.
Yes, it is horrible. And it's horrible to serve, to weave in and out,
Yeah.
like carrying, like it's while people are performing. Like Tim Robinson is on stage, like doing some weird ass character, and these tourists are just like, I don't know what this is. We should we should have saw Chicago again, but so like Tom Hanks is there, and it's just like, oh man, this is weird. Like you don't want to be weird around Tom Hanks, but it's also Tom Hanks. Vince Vaughn came to the show, got trashed, joined the improv set, and was so bad.
Yeah, that sounds
Was just like misogynistic, like
What?
sexist,
No.
homophobic in his improv set. And I was just like, oh,
Donnie's friend.
so they were filming. So Ron Howard and Favreau were around. They were doing whatever that movie where Winona Ryder plays Favreau's wife and cheats on him, but Vince Vaughn sees it. It was directed by Ron Howard. A weird movie for him. But anyway, so that's why they're in town. And it was like, oh, you are swingers. Like that is not like there's a you're not doing a lot of acting in that movie.
Yeah. I mean, they talk about it on the commentary a lot about
them being their characters.
It's been a while since I've heard it, but it was like really. They're like, oh no, you are this guy. But when they're doing the commentary in the 90s, they're all like, isn't that hilarious and cool? But now it's like, oh, you're actually kind of an insufferable turd.
Yeah. These guys
I met
don't grow
Favreau
up
once.
To be. Was he cool?
He was very kind.
He's an improv Olympic Chicago guy as well.
He was at I was covering South by Southwest when I was at Geekosystem the one year, and it was like the one time the company actually sent me anywhere to cover an event that wasn't just in Manhattan where our office was.
Yeah.
It was because we were producing an event there with Star Talk, the radio show that Neil deGrasse Tyson and sometimes Bill Nye do. But Bill was doing it.
Radio show, or is it a full-fledged podcast now?
They put it out as a podcast. It was a radio show to start.
Okay. I didn't know that.
We were co-producing the live event at South by, so they sent me with our sales guy was there.
He earned it.
And then my friend in the office, Sam, whose job I never quite understood what it was that she did, but
like an intern, or
no, she was just somewhere on like the business side of the like. Bill, the other guy that went with me, he sold ads for the site. Like that makes sense to me. Of like, this is Bill. Bill gets companies to pay us money, and then we put their ads on the website. Got it.
Be more like Bill.
But then they're like, this is Sam. Sam also works here.
Huh.
It's like, what do you do? And she's like, business.
Like an Italian. Oh, like it was. I was gonna make the joke like Italian mafia, like working at construction
Kind of,
or waste sites. It's just like, what does he do here? He's like construction. Well, what is?
Yeah.
He's like, oh, okay. Huh.
I don't know. She was pivotal to the operation in Austin because part of what they wanted me to do was like man on the street interviews with people.
Oh,
and I was like, oh, actually,
had you done that like Billy Eichner stuff?
Yeah. He will factor into the story later.
Oh, really?
And I was like, oh, I don't actually want to. I hate that. I don't want to walk up to strangers and start shoving a microphone in their face. So Sam would like go up and be like, hey, we're here with the website Geekosystem. Do you want to be in a video? She would like prep them and like get them on board so that I wouldn't have to go up and like cold talk to strangers. Because that's the part that I didn't like. The part I was like asking people trivia questions. We were like joking around. That's all fine. I will do that.
Yeah.
But the part where it's like, hey, walk up to that person you never met and ask them if you can inconvenience them for a few minutes. It's like, oh, sucks. So that's why I was at South by Southwest, but they were doing the premiere of that season of Billy on the Street. I think that was when it moved from just like web show he was doing to maybe True TV or whichever struggling cable channel was doing a last minute play to just produce comedy.
Impossible Jokers or whatever, Improbable Joker,
one of
whatever
those
are called. Yeah.
Well, that's the life cycle of any TV channel from like the 80s into the early 2000s was we're going to focus on one thing. And then they do that pretty well for a couple of years, and then ratings start going down because nobody wants to watch Surgery on the Learning Channel anymore. And they're like, okay, what if we produce our own content instead of just like buying these packages from production companies?
Mm-hmm.
And then they're like, oh, it's actually pretty expensive to produce like a surgery show. Oh, what's less expensive? Comedy. We will produce our own comedy shows. Does it matter?
Prank, docu, reality comedy. Yep.
Yeah. So that was that was IFC, True TV.
Candid Camera, I believe, is much older than anybody.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, this is a conversation. Have you and I talked about how wild it is to me how young television is? And
I don't know, but now's probably a good time to bring it up in the middle of another story I was trying to tell. Sure, let's talk about the history of television.
I'm not going to do that. I'm just saying that is something to me that whenever I'm thinking about like the beginning television shows and how great a lot of them are and still kind of hold up, it helps that they also weren't that long ago in the grand scheme of
right. It's not
art.
Like plays.
Yeah,
or plays music, have been around for a bit.
Yeah.
So that it's gone through a lot of different life cycles. We're still kind of trying to figure out television.
Oh, very poorly.
But yes, I went to the premiere of Billy on the Street, and I don't know if you've ever been to South by Southwest.
I would love to go. That's a dream of having one of these films coming up.
Some of it that would be I really enjoyed. A lot of it was kind of a nightmare
for you,
for me specifically.
Yeah,
and also a lot of it is bad. Like it's bad for the industry. It's bad for Austin. Bad for the world. But it's a fun event. And also, it was before I stopped drinking. So you're walking around Austin in the sun. And if you're there as a reporter, people are like kissing your nuts to try to get you to cover their thing.
Kissing your nuts.
Yeah. So
nut kissing.
Everywhere I'm going, I'm getting free food. I'm getting drinks.
Getting those nuts kissed.
Getting all kinds of stuff.
We've talked about your dong being massive.
Yeah.
Like, have we ever talked about what the ratio is to your nuts?
No, but it's like they're pretty average, I would say.
To your dong?
No.
Or to other nuts?
Just like to my size. So maybe they look a little small just because my dong's so big.
Oh, yeah.
Or maybe that makes them look bigger. I don't know.
Yeah. I weirdly mentioned that.
I haven't thought about what the funniest answer for this would be. But I went to the premiere of Billy on the Street, which got delayed for some reason. So we're all like in a backyard of some restaurant.
Were you made to do the on the street things in conjunction as like cross promotion?
No, that wasn't part of it. It was just one of the other things I went to cover because I liked the show.
Yeah.
Okay. And I went, and then as I'm like in line for the bathroom after the premiere, Favreau and Billy Eichner are talking, and Billy on the Street, funny show. I enjoy it. I'm not like a huge fan of Eichner. It's not like, oh, I can't believe Billy Eichner's right there. It's like, oh, hey, you do a show that I think is pretty funny. Like, great job. But Favreau, I was like, man, Swingers was like, as much as it does not hold up today, I want to be very clear. As much as it does not hold up today, when you are like a high school kid who wants to do movies, and that DVD is so great, to hear them talk about the
DVDs
process
of the 90s. Yes.
Of making the movie, writing the script, everything. I highly recommend it. Even if you don't like the movie, like you can get a lot out of it.
So literally what I'm doing right now, just a small roadblock, just to explain. So if anybody, I'm not being rude. And if my mic cuts off, it's
you keep interrupting. So you are a little bit. But.
Well, this is a conversational podcast, sir. I am signing copies of the Indiegogo special edition Blu-ray Sweetmeats. the reason why this connects with what you're saying is how I make a Blu-ray, because I produce this, is based off of 90s DVDs of like Kevin Smith, Spike Lee, Quentin Tarantino, Robert Rodriguez. Literally had film schools to show you how the sausage was made. I'm signing these because I'm sending them off to a horror movie convention in New Jersey. So I'm snapping them. You've heard of New Jersey? You live near there? It's the New Jersey Horror Con that these are going to be at that I'm specially signing. There's going to be 12. So if you go to that and you see Nick Greystone, you can get one of these specially signed.
But yeah, so I'm in line to use the bathroom or something after the premiere, and Favreau and Billy Eichner are talking, and I was enough drinks in to do this. Otherwise, I probably wouldn't have bothered, because they're like talking, and I was like, "Oh, hey, sorry to interrupt." John Favreau, Swingers was like, I went to school for film. It was so helpful. And then Billy Eichner was there, and it's like, hey, also your show's good too. But like, I spent a couple of minutes like really talking up Favreau, and then it's like we're at Eichner's event, and it's like, oh yeah, your thing's fine too. But it's like,
well, I mean, he's got to know, again, perception, like who Favreau is. You think Eichner's ego? Eichner's ego. Oh, yeah, interesting.
I like the guy, but it's clear. Like,
a more embarrassing version, because you again were
very
cognizant.
Let me get to the end of the goddamn story.
I mean, is it going to change the ending? Me interjecting with things?
No, but it's going to make me lose my mind. This is a 3-minute story that's been going on for 18 minutes.
We fill 2 hours of a podcast. I have a hard out at 11:30.
I saw them.
Yes.
I said a lot of nice things to Jon Favreau. I said one quickly nice thing to Eichner. Asked them if I could take a picture. They said yes. And Eichner is making like the weirdest, most annoyed at me face in the picture compared to Favreau, who's just like used to being like, oh yeah. And this was, I think, post Iron Man, but it was before they teamed up for the Lion King. So I was like, oh, I didn't know they you guys knew each other, or maybe like they did.
That makes
he's
sense.
Like, hey, I want to make you arguably the worst part of this Lion King reboot. Again, I like Billy Eichner. I mean, the Lion King reboot, who cares? But
arguably, the worst part is the fact that it exists.
Yeah. I mean what they did to my boy Timon in that was uninteresting choice.
You killed and spotted my boy.
Hey, that story's over now, though. So now it's your turn.
Oh, I mean,
It's your turn to talk.
I'm able to chase rabbits, and hope most of the time I'm able to close tabs and pull back the threads. But
not this guy.
I think a more embarrassing story is coming out of 700 Sundays, 500 Sundays, 700 Sundays.
Billy Crystal thing?
Yeah, one-man show book. Yeah, coming out of that show in New York City was Matt Damon in like a full Canadian tuxedo. And I was like, oh, holy shit, that's Matt Damon. Like, so whatever year Billy Crystal's doing that is,
who knows?
That's my age. And
I think it's 700
Matt Damon's
Sundays.
700 Sundays. Yeah, that makes sense. The alliteration. And that is how many there were in his lifetime as a kid. I don't remember. But anyway, out pops Matt Damon. I'm like, oh, there's Matt Damon. I was like, I want to meet Matt Damon. And so I walk up to him in New York City, leaving this theater. I was just like, hey, Matt Damon. And he's just like, hey. And I was just like, I'm such a huge fan of Ben Affleck and yours. I'm also a fan. Oh, I was like, and he's like, oh, great. He's like, I'll tell Ben next time.
Yeah.
I see him.
Well, that's
I was like, I'm sorry. I was like, can I get a picture? I was like, oh, here's one
thing
I
get a
learned.
Picture of you and me, and then can you send it to Ben?
Yeah.
Can you send Ben my photograph?
Can he Photoshop inside of it? But I had learned on the Dogma, this connects to the story before, DVD commentary, which Damon's not on because he's filming Talented Mr. Ripley. And so they make fun of him. It's a pretty good commentary. They talk about how Matt Damon was so unsure and not confident in his comedy chops.
Mm-hmm.
And like his comedic timing and presence, just acting ability. And so I remember hearing that, and I said to him after telling him how much Ben Affleck meant to me, which is a weird statement now. Like, there's so much about that dude that I'm just like,
Affleck?
yeah. So like, you know how like all the jokes about the two of them for like Good Will Hunting is that like Matt Damon wrote everything and Ben Affleck farted and he was like, hey, add that to the script and put my name as a writer on it.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think that's the case. Like, having seen the directing work and the writing work that Affleck has done, but like, man, some of the choices that dude makes, like that giant, the phoenix back tattoo that he has that
Yeah.
covers his whole back that has to digitally be erased every time he
And
does
you're
something.
just jealous that he got to it first, and now when you get yours, everyone's gonna be like, "Oh, you got it because Affleck has it."
Fuck. Yeah.
Like, no, I need to demonstrate my rebirth as a person.
I need to become an alcoholic and have a crippling gambling addiction. Like, I just need to be like Norm Macdonald and Ben Affleck. If I could be like two people.
Fame's hard to handle, baby. You
Yeah.
know, not everybody can do it as good as you and me.
But so I said to Damon to hopefully follow up and be apologetic to my first comment. I was just like, oh, and also you're hilarious in Dogma. Like, you are really good at comedy.
He's very funny in Dogma.
And he said, thanks, man. He's like doing dramas and stuff. He's like, but comedy's hard for me. He's like, I just never know if I'm making the right choice or not. And I was just like, you do a good job.
Yeah.
And then got a
very
photo and it surprised me. I always thought he was short. And he's not. He was slightly taller than I was. So I'm about 5'10 and a half. So he's about 5'11 or 6 foot.
Yeah, Affleck's just a big boy, so he makes
He's a Frankenstein. Yeah. He looks like a tiny, like, big guy.
People don't know
guy.
this. Ben Affleck's 8'4".
Every actor he's ever been with is in a green screen.
Yeah.
And he is like small. Yeah. But Glenn, tell us, you have been around the world. You have gone to the Bermuda Triangle. You have come back.
Yep.
And what are the highlights? What are the lowlights of cruise life and cruise comedy?
So this was the longest I've been on the ship at a clip, and it was a week. The other ones were like a couple days short of a week, but this was, I did the last few nights of one cruise and then stayed on that ship for most of the next cruise that was supposed to go. They flew me to Bermuda to sail to Baltimore. Then that same day, sail out of Baltimore to go to the Bahamas with a stop in Bermuda along the way. But there's a big old hurricane out in the ocean right now.
Oh, buddy, is there.
So the day I got on the ship for the back half of the first part of the cruise, I get an email. Everyone did. They're like, hey, we're not going to Bermuda on account of there's going to be a big old hurricane over it. So we got rerouted to go to Florida. But then there was also like one additional day that was just at sea. And then, so I ended up doing another show that night. And then we were in Florida for a day. And so many people on the ship were like so disappointed. They're like, I want to go to Florida. And it's like, hey, but we were going, the port was in Canaveral. So it was like a short ride to Kennedy Space Center. And I was like, I would actually much rather go spend the day at Kennedy Space Center than go back to Bermuda. And so that's exactly what I did. And on the bus ride there, I made friends with a nice, I believe she said she was from Poland, a nice violinist named Anna. And Anna. I was trying to do it with the accent that she had without it sounding like I was making fun of her or her accent. I was trying to get the name right.
Yes.
But we were talking on the bus, and then when we got there, she's like, I'm not here with anyone. And I was like, me neither. You want to walk around Kennedy Space Center together? Because we're like trying to figure out. We didn't have a ton of time.
We didn't have a lot of time
to see everything. So we're like trying to figure out what's worth seeing, what's not. And my friend and likely future guest, Brian Getz, is like a big space nerd. So he saw my picture of the sign and started texting me. He's like, you know how some suburban moms are like Disney park experts and like tell you exactly, like have it scheduled down. He's like, I am that for Kennedy Space Center. So here's what you're going to do. And then he's like talking me through all the stuff that's worth seeing, what I can skip. Because I'd been there when I was a little, like between my kids' current ages. I don't remember exactly when we went, but I think I was older than 7, but younger than 12. And so we went. We kept getting split up because she would walk crazy fast, and then we'd like keep bumping into each other because when we got there, we figured out what to do. So there's like a bus tour, and then I was telling her, "Oh, my friend says this is really worth spending some extra time in. Like, go see Space Shuttle Atlantis, all that stuff." Um, and then we're all taking the same bus back, so we recapped when we got there. But then I don't think she came. I don't think you came to the second show, Anna. I missed you. We were gonna hang out after, but
Well, I would venture to say she was hoping that maybe there was more love boating between the two of you.
no, that seems unlikely.
She said I'm not here with anyone.
Yeah, but she wasn't, so that wasn't a lie.
Right.
She meant at the Space Center.
Yeah.
She might have been on the cruise with other people.
Sure.
Whatever. But then
that's not. I don't know. That just feels like that seems like an instigating line of like, oh, I'm not here with anyone.
I mean, I'm like, terrible at knowing when people. I know. On me.
That's
I genuinely don't think she was.
And it never happens to me. So I've never been put in this situation. Like it happened once, and I think I've talked about it on a podcast. It was a show last year that the bartender, I was like, oh, but it took me probably a good 45 minutes after it happened to clock it.
I had my Budapest public transit shirt on, which she clocked, and then we were talking about that on the bus. And then that's when she told me she was from Poland. She lives in Canada now. She's a violinist. We had a very nice time. Kennedy Space Center, it's great if you get the chance to go. We didn't have for whatever reason, the ship was there until like 8 o'clock at night, but the bus for the Kennedy trip was like we left at 8:30 and we had to get back at 2:30 for the bus. And they added it as an official like excursion that you could do through the cruise company. But when I knew we were going there, it's like, oh, I'll just get off the ship and take a lift and then like buy a ticket. But then somebody told me that they added it as like an official one. So I looked and it's like, oh, this is the same price as if I just bought a ticket and then, took a lift both ways. So I'll just do it this way. But then it's like, maybe I'll hang out a bit longer and then just take a lift back. But I did have another show to do that night. So it's like, no, I should actually probably
prepare, rest.
Because it's it's the first time I've done 2 shows on a cruise. I did 3, but it was the farewell show.
Yeah.
Then everybody left. Then new people got on. So it was the welcome aboard show. I just did the same sets for those.
Welcome aboard.
Except
for you said welcome instead of goodbye.
Goodbye forever.
I will never see you again.
But then I did the late night show, which I was telling them, I was like, oh, just because that was it seemed to be a point of contention with the other cruise line that I worked with, where I had to do a clean set and a dirty set, and they did not seem to feel like my dirty set was dirty enough. And it's like, right, but you've seen videos of me, you know what it is. But I was also on. They do basically the newlywed game that the cruise director was hosting. So that on account of it being the newlywed game, gets fairly adult. It's mostly innuendo. It's not like filthy, but
hell yeah.
I was talking
I
was talking to the cruise director in between, and I was like, "Oh, I know it's the adult show, but like, if there's anything you don't want me to say or talk about," she's like, "Well, nothing like too over the top." I was like, "I will not say anything dirtier than what you just did on the newlywed show that." Children.
So I was eating out this broad with my mouth tongue.
Yeah.
And like the weirdest thing you said was mouth tongue.
I kept saying like, oh, like I don't really swear a lot, but I might say like balls a few times. And then I was like, is it indicative of how little I swear on stage that my idea of swearing on stage is saying balls like a 7th grader? I changed. I did the line. I was like, oh, I have this reputation of being like a clean comic and a good dad, but it overshadows what I want to be known for. And normally I say my huge hog, but I did it another time recently, and I just don't think old people know that hog means penis. I think that's part of the problem of why that
What?
joke doesn't work better.
But what decade would that have? Like, why do we associate it with it?
I don't
Like,
know.
that's not a 90s phrase,
So I
is it?
switched it up and said it overshadows what I really want to be known for, my incredible lovemaking skills. Because that seemed like 70-year-olds on a cruise are going to understand. And the joke worked, but it's like, it's funnier if I say hog or crank or like
Dong.
yeah,
Like,
one of those.
Yeah, one syllable words. I mean, yeah, look, yeah, my incredible lovemaking skills. Like, yes, of course, obviously that works.
The shows are fun.
It's the dong of it, or like hog. I'm just like, I like the way that sounds, but yeah.
It's, it's an example of you got to read the room and understand what the audience is going to be on board with. And not in like, oh, you got to like change your material, but it's like,
yeah,
if it's mostly people like my parents' age.
Well, it's also you just working. Like you have these past experiences where you've said it this way, and you're just like, oh, you know what? Let's change it up. Let's see.
Yeah,
if
I'm doing a slightly older crowd, if I say lovemaking skills instead of huge crank, let's see if that moves the needle. It did. It was fun.
Yeah.
My dirty set, again, not that dirty. It was longer than the other ones too, which I was excited about. Because typically I do like 20 to 25 for the welcome aboard or farewell show.
The audio you sent me?
That was I think I sent you the farewell show audio.
I think you did too. I think it might have said farewell show audio on it.
They did ask me to not film it.
Interesting.
Which I didn't push back on, but I did think was weird.
I wonder if it's because post-COVID stuff associated with like safety or health, but I also wonder if it has anything to do with, I would think anybody who boards a cruise is probably signed something for their likeness while they're aboard the cruise, but maybe they don't. Maybe they're more worried about complaints from guests or something viral.
I don't know, but it's not like it's not a 3-camera shoot where I have the camera on them. But I also do the Dan Huff bit where I literally point the camera at the audience and film them. That's not a problem. This was the only time they've asked me not to film it. I asked the first cruise I did is like, hey, do you mind if I just throw my little phone tripod up off to the side of the stage and record the show? And then the last one I did, the tech guy was like, we have like a camera in the theater. I can just record the feed.
What?
So he did that, and it looks nice, but the audience isn't mic'd, so it just really looks like I'm eating it up there. Like,
this is what real comedy is.
I'm pretty sure. I have to double check. I think I have the audio from my phone. But
great!
Stops.
Just sync it up.
Yeah, it stops when I film the audience for the Dan Huff thing. Because then the camera takes over.
It takes over.
So I have the audio, but it is. I sent you the clip because I did have the sound guy.
Fantastic.
I got the theme from the A-Team, and it was like, oh hey, because the guy who offered to film it last cruise, I was like, oh, I got to figure out a way to like get the sound guy to cue it up after the show. He's like, if you said something, I absolutely would have done it.
Yeah,
and I was like, oh. Yeah, this is actually because it's if you're going to like a bar show or whatever, and you gotta like, all right, I gotta sync it up on my phone and I'll hit it. That's
mechanics of things.
The good thing about doing these cruise shows is they're like well-staffed, beautiful, highly produced theater shows.
Yeah, theater shows should have a sound person who is making whatever show, whatever event sound.
So you are not like inconveniencing that person in the way you're like, hey, bartender, when I say. And if you can find them, maybe you can hire the A-Team. Can you press play? They're like, no, I'm making 4 drinks right now.
No. No, you clown.
And it works so well. Like the bit works, not to like shine my own hog, but
well, I mean, come on, like anybody. I thought you were going to maybe have. That's right. We don't know about queuing up audio on this to let the fine people hear it. I heard it. I can attest that the audience is with the bit. Growing an appreciation of the bit while it's happening before the song.
I think we've talked about it before. Yeah. So I recite the opening to the A-Team. and it's great. I think we talked about it last time because it's real fun to do on cruises because people bring their kids. So a 7-year-old girl was sitting up front, and I'm like talking about Mr. T, and I was like, "Oh, hey, I know you probably don't know who I'm talking about, so let me just check in." So like, he's the bad guy in Rocky 3. You've seen Rocky 3, right? And then the 7-year-old girl's like, "I don't know what you're talking about, weird old man." And it's like, okay, well, that's what a lot of people know him for. I know him as B.A. Baracus from the A Team, and then everybody claps who remembers the A Team.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, okay, you still look confused. And then I recite the opening of the A Team as a way to like explain to. I usually just try to find the youngest person in the room, and then on the cruises, that person is like 7, not 20, like at a comedy club.
This is your thought out scripted bit that works and seems like improv, but is not. Like, this is your, like, I'm going to do this because majority of the people aren't.
If you haven't seen it, it's like, oh, all right,
young
so he
people.
He brought up Mr. T, and then now he's spending a lot of time,
an inordinate amount of
trying
time
to explain who he is because he realized there was a child. It's like, no, I'm hoping there's a child there. That makes the bit work better. But then I recite the opening to the A Team, and then usually I say, oh, I got to figure out a way to sync to cue up the music when I get to the end of that. But then the sound guy in the last crew is like, I will, you just give me the song. I will do it.
You're like, how much do I have to pay you? And
so I
like,
did.
It's my
when
job.
I went to sound check, because they want me to bring the walk-on music that I want to use. And then sometimes the theaters have like a screen. Like, if you have an image of you want us to put up.
Yeah.
So that's the kind of stuff I just keep on a thumb drive. I have It's Super Rad by the Aquabats. That's the song that I like to walk in and out to. The little picture of me with my name on it for screens. A digital file of Buckaroo Banzai so that I could watch it in an emergency. And I thought, and I have the video that they filmed 2 cruises ago is the other thing that's on there. But I don't always have that on there. It's just on there right now. But comics, it's a good thing to have. Just keep a thumb drive on your keychain with stuff that the tech person might need from you. Pro tip. And pro tip. But yeah, he did it, and it worked so well. Like, the bit works on its own, but then when the song kicks in, when you get to the end of it,
it gives it
people lose their minds. It's to the point where, so it's in the current hour, right? If you come see Glenn Tickle Tries to Be a Person at the Rochester Fringe Festival, I will be doing that bit. But it's like, God, if I film this special, am I gonna have to license the theme of the 18? How much can that be? I tried to license a song by a band that I really like for Crime League, just as like the walk-off music, because I really like the song. And it's like, oh, this would be like a good kind of upbeat, this is the end of the thing to walk out on. But then I ended up, instead, I commissioned somebody on Fiverr. I was like, can you write a song that's kind of like the song at the end of Buckaroo Banzai? Because that's funnier to me.
Yeah.
So I can't decide if I want to say the band.
On Fiverr?
No, Fiverr dude, I don't remember your name. He's in the credits.
Fiverr.
But no, the band that I was going to license the song.
Oh.
I'm not going to say it because I'm also going to say the amount of money that they wanted. They wanted $2,000.
I think it's, so here's what I think. I don't think, I know we're talking about the cost of things, but it's the cost of art, and I don't think it's indelicate to talk about the business of things like that.
I don't think so either. It's just, I don't want to blow up their spot if they're
it was too much, but it was too much for you. Oh, you mean for a higher cost to somebody else?
Like, but if now they're talking to somebody else and they're trying to get 10 grand for a song, but then they're like, well, you told this idiot.
They say never write song titles in a script. And that is one of the reasons for then, if it gets any heat and it gets sold or people start shopping it around, then it might be out there for record companies to then know, and they're going to charge you out the ass for it. But similarly, I'll say the band, The Dip. The Dip. It's this great, surprisingly all white, because when you listen to it, it sounds very Black Motown, like early 60s. vibe and sound and bigger orchestra band. And it is like 6 white dudes, 6 super white dudes. And lead singer's got a killer voice. Their second album, the song is "When You Lose Somebody That You Love." Came out during COVID. I was listening to it on loop. That and a couple of the other songs, like Atlas, which is a great song.
Mm.
And I was like, you know what? I have this script that I'm working on, and I kind of can't think of the opening not having this song. So I was like, I'm going to do what I do. Went online, found the proper person to reach out to, or their management gave me the proper person. And they're like, well, we require this, this, and this before we even give you a price. Like,
Yeah.
we need to see the script. We need to see how long is it going to run within the script. What is the licensing going to be for soundtrack? What is this, this, and
Yep.
this? So after I went through all of that, because I had the time to kill it, it was COVID and I hadn't even written the script. So it spurred me to do that. I then sent everything to them and they're like, all right, $1,500. And I was just like, all right, I don't have it. Like, this is
Yeah.
good to know that if and when that happens, I have this. But
Yeah, I'm not saying
so
the band just because it's.
Yeah, I'm not asking you to. It's just
I mean, I'll tell you. I just don't want.
Yeah,
Because again, like
the daddy, you know what
Hannibal
the Daddios
Buress
are.
does a joke where he got like a bad or got it was like a pretty middling review in a college newspaper about one of his shows.
Yeah.
And they mentioned how much they paid him, and he was like, "Hey, don't do because then if I'm talking to another school and trying to get more money, they'll be like, well,
Right.
this school." So I'm trying to help the band by not. I had to decide: do I say the band or do I say the number? I went number.
Yeah, but I, just in my perspective is they also know what the project was, who you are.
Yeah,
that
they
you
did
weren't
the same
gonna
thing. They're like,
make.
how
Yeah,
are you going to use
yeah.
it? You know what's.
And so that's how they come up with their price. I don't think it's.
I don't think it's an outrageous
set of a price. Yeah, and I don't think it's a set price. I think they could.
Yeah,
they probably do.
I went back and
depending
forth
what it is. Like if
with
it's a
the
Judd
band.
Apatow movie, they're going
Right.
to be like $5,000. Like
I went
yes.
back and forth with the band directly a couple times, and then like we'll jump on a Zoom meeting with our lawyer. So then I think it was 2 guys from the band, their lawyer, and me talking on Zoom for a bit, and she was like getting caught up on like the project, and I was like, it's stand-up special.
Yeah.
I do this joke about Jason Voorhees, and then I walk off, and I would love it if we could use this song. That's the idea. It'll probably be playing for about 30 seconds because credits on self-produced comedy specials are not that long.
There's not a lot of people.
It's mostly me and then my 2 friends who shot it. I'll probably thank the venue, even though they're going to fire my friend in a couple months.
God, you had all that in the credits?
Yeah, and then I called it, and then they came back and they're like, "Yeah, you can absolutely use the song. We would like $2,000." And it's like, that is a reasonable amount of money to ask.
It's great to know, but it also doesn't help you make the decision. It's not one of those easy of just like, I don't have $2,000 for 30 seconds of a song.
The problem is I told them, I was like, look, I'm this is a real ask. I'm not asking for a favor. I want to know what you will charge. If it's like my friend's band or whatever, I might be like, guys, can I use this song? And like, I'll give you. I was genuine. I'm expecting to be like $500 and it's yours. And then 2,000 is like, I could probably talk them down a bit. But then while I was
even
thinking
if
about
half, it would.
Then
still
I
be
thought of
$1,000.
like, I should actually just try to get something like the Bonsai March, since so much of the special is themed around it. So, and then it's like, well, God, I'm spending less than that to film the special.
Yes.
And it's like, do I want the biggest expense to be this song at the end, where it's like, so Marin's new special uses a Taylor Swift song.
Yes.
That he's talked about in interviews. I believe he paid $50,000 for.
Yes.
But the song is like crucial to that bit. It is about the song. It isn't just like, oh, I like this song, I'm going to use it to walk off the end of the show. He's like, no, this bit is about. So the A-Team song, it's like, this bit is about the opening of the A-Team. Like that, the funniest version that I've done of it is when I actually play the song.
So you know how there's television themes, compilations, like old cassettes, and also now just on iTunes and stuff. I think you probably have a better chance of producing like a local band playing it and being allowed to use your cover than you would be to license the
Yeah, and
televised
because it's
production.
so
That's, I mean, that my limited knowledge of covers and stuff
yes,
is that.
you're
Yeah.
correct.
Yeah.
Of because I when you reached out about doing about the Sweetmeat soundtrack,
Yeah.
where it's like I don't know, man. I've never done any of that for like because all the record label stuff that I've done has just been comedy. No one's ever put music on that we've had to
Mhm.
license. Is like I'll look into it, but the fact that you owned the rights to all the music, it's like, oh,
Yeah.
this makes it much. We didn't have to license any songs or anything. That would have been
Yeah.
harder, and I probably wouldn't have wanted to do it. But yes, I don't think I would. I don't think for the joke to work, I need the actual song. Like I can just get one of the many kind of shitty MIDI cover versions of it. It just it needs to have the strings, and
Mhm.
then I need like 5 to 10 seconds of it for it to work.
Oh, I'm telling you, like, I think if you incorporated, like, if you were able to get like your high school's marching band to do a version, I know this requires way more. It's way more intricate and probably doesn't
Yeah.
connect to anything in your
No,
show.
there's just
But
cover versions I would find that are
okay,
out there. Or I would have the high school marching band come out on stage and do like
that
that.
would be amazing. The curtain raises up
Yeah,
behind you, and
that would
they're
rule.
there.
I did so there's like a house band on cruise ships. Like they do
Yeah, yeah.
the welcome aboard and farewell show. They're up there. They like do a song. Sometimes the not this last time, but one of the other cruises I did, like the cruise director came out and did a song. And it's like I feel like I could talk to the cruise line.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm doing another one in a couple weeks. I'd be like, hey, for the welcome aboard show, can the house orchestra stick around for the first couple minutes and then do the theme from the A Team on cue? And I feel like the answer to that would be yes. That's what they're there for.
It'd be like, what's the theme to the A Team?
Yeah, I might have to explain it because they're all like
okay, the A Team is.
they're
and then
all
you
like
just go
20
into the
and from
bit.
Belarus or whatever.
Yeah,
But
we can play the Friends theme, but
yeah, I think they would be like, yeah, absolutely. I mean,
could you make your bit about the Friends theme? Like, because we can do that already. Like, we wouldn't have to learn anything. Could you change your joke?
yeah. But the other acts on the ship, my new friend Gary Lavini, apparently famous violinist in the UK. I just met him at dinner the one night and knew he was the other entertainer. I was like, oh, I'll come see your show. And then his show was violin, but he's backed by the band.
Oh, cool.
And then there was I forget the other guy's name. It was like comedy music. El Gaucho was the guy's name, or stage name. And
Who's
it is
El
like
Gaucho?
comedy music, a bit of like not whips, but I forget what similar to whips. It was a very interesting act. It was a lot of fun, but also backed by the band. So
Okay.
like the night I was doing the show, like the band, I'm sure they were happy to have off, but
Yeah.
if I was like, hey, I need a 20-person orchestra. I think it's like 10. I forget how many there are. I need a 10-piece band to play about 10 seconds of the theme from the A Team.
Mm-hmm.
Is that something we can make happen? And I'd be like, yeah, I feel like they would do it.
That would be awesome.
Yeah. But to me, it is also just as easy to just play the track, you know?
Yes.
But
yeah. In that
if
situation,
I was filming it, the visual of doing it, and then while I'm saying it, you see like 30 high schoolers file in behind me.
Fucking amazing.
And then they just do like
black and red uniforms,
just like
to look like the van.
To look like the van.
Yeah.
Just do like 3 bars of the song and then walk off. Like that's very funny to me. It's like it's the Zach Galifianakis Eternal Flame bit.
And then Jordan Peele as Mr. T is up in like the heavens in like a silhouette until your final performance where it is actually Mr.
It's
T.
just Mr. T.
Yeah, it is Mr. T.
So
Don't you love that I think that getting Jordan Peele is an easier get as Mr. T than getting Mr. T?
Well, I gotta do it. I gotta get him, right? Maybe
Mr.
not
T?
for
Yeah.
maybe not for this special, right? Like I said, I'm filming it next
When
month.
this bit gets so big that he can't fucking avoid it anymore of
Yeah.
people like coming up to him and like autograph conventions.
Well,
mostly you.
mostly just me.
Yeah.
Well, because people, so Peter Weller was doing like fan expos and stuff, and people kept sending me the link. They're like, "Oh, he's gonna be in Philly," and it's like, I don't care. Like,
Yeah.
I would love to meet Dr. Peter Weller and talk to him about jazz trumpeters, but the fact that he was in my favorite movie, I was like, well, I'm not gonna pay $100 to get into an event and then stand in line for an hour to pay $200 to get a picture with. Like, that's not
Insane.
the
Yeah.
experience that I want. I would rather just keep talking on the internet about how much I love Buckaroo Banzai until I get invited to go watch the movie with the director
Yeah.
and other people who love it.
Where you lead a Q&A.
Like my friend Steve, who sent me this Team Bonsai headband that I unwrapped this morning. It came the other day, but I was out of the country.
It looks beautiful.
I love it. Thank you, Steve Madsen, for my new Team Bonsai headband. But it's like, yeah, no, like if I keep talking about it and then he is like, oh, I'm going to be in town. You clearly love this thing that I did. Do you want to get dinner and then talk about your love of jazz trumpeter Kenny Dorham? I'd be like, yeah, Dr. Peter Weller, that sounds great.
So a similar story to
but to finish, I would absolutely pay just to meet Mr. T for like 2 seconds.
Mr. T. You would do the situation that you just said about Peter Weller, you would do for Mr. T.
Yes. Because I love Buckaroo Banzai, and Peter Weller is in Buckaroo Banzai, and great.
But he's an actor.
Yeah.
Mr. T is a man.
Mr. T, I genuinely think that's the difference. Like, the movie, The Adventures of Buckaroo Banzai Across the Eighth Dimension, is very, very important to me.
Mm-hmm.
Peter Weller isn't. Like, he was in the movie. Hey, it could have been Tom Hanks, you know? Like, they tried to get Hanks, but they got Peter Weller, and he's good in it. He's not my favorite part of the.
It'd be different if Peter Weller wrote it, and was in it.
Like the fact that
the Favreau thing.
The fact that I met W.D. Richter is more important than if I will ever meet Peter Weller. I got an email from Earl MacRouch, the guy who wrote it, the other day. Great, like
it's like people who meet sports figures and they're just like, oh, what a piece of shit they were as a human, or they were like, I didn't have a good experience. Or it's like celebrities too, and it's just like, well, that's your choice if you want to keep on liking what the thing they do, or not. Like,
did I tell the story of I got asked to audition for a thing that would have been with Christopher Lloyd and Michael J. Fox as like a Back to the Future tie-in?
Maybe tell it.
So the year I did the Lucille Ball Comedy Festival, they were flying me up to Jamestown to do that, and then I got asked. They're like, hey, they're doing, I think it was a car company. Some company they got Christopher Lloyd and Michael J. Fox to agree to do this promo video where they're like, we need.
It wasn't for the video game?
No.
Okay.
It was something not related to
Back to the
thing,
Future.
but it was like vaguely.
They were making it. They were tying it in.
But they're like, oh, we'll get the guys from Back to the Future to talk to a Glenn Tickle type, and that will tie into our product launch in some way.
A nerd. They'll talk to a nerd, a visibly nerdy nerd.
It was because I did. It was when I was at Geekosystem, and I had done that on camera stuff in Austin for South by Southwest. So they're like, yeah, like that guy, like that kind of guy. So they're like, can you come audition for this thing on Friday? And I said, oh, I'm getting flown up to a comedy festival that day. Can I come? I got the email like Wednesday, and I was like, I'll come right now. Can I come tomorrow? And they're like, it's got to be Friday. And it's like, I can't. I'm really sorry. Can I film an audition and send it to you? Like, this was before COVID, but like that was not unheard of. it wasn't super common, but they're like, no, if you can come Friday, we'd love to have you audition. Otherwise, sorry.
Self tapes are old.
Yeah.
Old thing.
And then I forget about it, and then months and months go by, and then the thing comes out. And I think I'd even switched jobs. I'd left Geek Ecosystem for Laughing Squid at that point, I think. Because I think I posted about it on Laughing Squid, and my editor like put it in my feed of like, hey, can you write this up? And I was like, you're not gonna believe this, but that was supposed to be, that should have been me. And the guy they got looked exactly like me. Was, hey bud, no disrespect intended, a bit less charismatic.
Maybe they wanted that.
I would have done a better job, but also I would have been so excited to meet Christopher Lloyd and Michael J. Fox. But it's not like, oh, you guys are in one movie that I like. It's like, you guys are in a lot of stuff that I really like. Christopher Lloyd in particular.
Christopher Lloyd's just fucking working television.
Christopher Lloyd. Oh, boy.
Phenomenal.
I found my parents have been dropping off stuff from, they're getting ready to sell the house. And they keep dropping off like homework from 3rd grade that I don't want. I did find something where I had to write a thing. I think it was 3rd, maybe 4th grade. But I wrote like a 2-page thing about why Christopher Lloyd is my favorite actor. And it would have been around the time of like Addams Family.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
He was in Taxi. He was in Addams Family. Back to the Future. It's like,
yeah.
Christopher Lloyd, you're out there doing great work, bud.
I like that you wrote a position paper.
Yeah.
For something that no one was challenging.
Right.
Like, yeah, it's an opinion paper. Like, yeah,
it was probably like that. Genuinely, the assignment was like, write a 1-page opinion that you have.
Yeah.
And it was like, Christopher Lloyd is the greatest living American actor.
Like, it's all fun and games until like Alan Alda then sees it and he's like, I got quibbles with that kid. I think I'm the greatest American actor.
But yes, so even them, like I don't think I want to pay to go to like a fan expo to meet Christopher Lloyd for 2 seconds. I would rather get cast in a thing where I have to talk to him about a flux capacitor for some dumb marketing thing, or like
or you would like to like have the opportunity to hire him or work alongside and be a colleague.
But Mr. T, I would gladly pay to go meet Mr. T at a fan expo,
or see how much it costs for you to have your own private fan expo.
I would rather, oh, for sure, I would rather, have him come out after I do the intro to the A-Team. And then we high five, and then he walks off.
And then everyone's like, "Who's that small old black man? Is that his dad?"
Because I'm looking at off camera view, but I have all my Post-its up from the outline. There's just one Post-it that says Mr. T, but that is like 8 jokes. Because part of the bit in the new hour is that I talk about him a lot. Like it's not an accident. I have to build up to the reveal later so that I can say the line, well, Glenn, you don't seem autistic. You talk about Mr. T the normal amount. Which I did on one of the cruise shows. I mentioned casually on I think it was the Welcome Aboard show after I did the Mr. T thing or the A-Team thing. Because then I say like, oh, you guys recognize it pretty quick. You're like, oh, he's doing the intro to the A-Team. And you're like, oh, God, is he going to do the whole thing? And then the line has become, yes, I'm a 42-year-old autistic man who has loved that show his entire life. Of course I'm doing the whole thing. And then I had a dad come up to me the next day. Like I was sitting there at breakfast and he's like, oh, you mentioned that you're autistic. And I was like, yes. And he's like, oh, my son is on the spectrum and he loves telling jokes, but people don't like his jokes. So he was at the show and then he was like talking about it. And he's like, oh, so like people can like your jokes if you're autistic. He's like, that's not why they don't like my jokes. So I made this kid reassess his whole approach to comedy.
That he's like, oh, I thought people were just hate criming me because I'm autistic. It just turns out I'm not any good at this. Yeah.
But then the dad's like, yeah. So now he's like really trying to think of like how to, I was like, hey, genuinely, if you guys see me around the ship at any point, I would be happy to talk to your kid about comedy. Which I didn't run into him again, but hey, if you happen to find this, offer still stands. Send me an email. I'll talk to your 14-year-old about comedy. I don't care.
Oh, he'll give you a private class. How to comedy with Glenn Tickle.
I mean, that's what I did with Kieran.
Yeah. Paid off in spades. He's
Yeah,
gonna be better. He's gonna be better and more famous than all of us.
Yeah, he's gonna surpass us any day now. I got to follow up with that kid. I haven't heard from him for a while. He gets. I know he's. His main focus is acting, so he gets busy.
Oh, good for him.
Yeah, but then also, I have to travel around doing comedy and whatnot. But I will send him a nice email.
I was going to.
Did I ever send him the video of the show at the Emmaus?
I've not seen videos of anything.
Did I not?
I don't think so.
All right.
But so to connect with your the end of paying for something and having to wear a producer's brand of like, ooh, I want this and it's obtainable. It just doesn't make fiscal sense in the grand scheme. We are going to be announcing soon, this, attempting to do 2 movies within 1 calendar year. The first one is going to be a micro budget of between $7,000 and $10,000, which we think we will be able to get no problem. And the other one is a much bigger project that would film in July of 2026, which would have more of a $40,000 to $50,000 budget. So we're kind of packaging these things. My computer is dumb. We're going to be announcing it as the gimmick is that we're going to be making basically 2 micro budget movies, but one on a very, very micro budget scale and one on a bigger micro budget scale, but all Northern Kentucky, Cincinnati, get the community interested and excited, which it seems to be helping at this moment. That is going to be our story for our marketing. And we had the opportunity. So Gary Kroger, which all of this information will be out probably in the next couple weeks. But if you're listening to Daddio, hear it here first. We broke the exclusive. Gary Kroger of SNL from the early 80s Eddie Murphy cast with Julia Louis-Dreyfus. They all came from Chicago with Brad Hall. He has signed on to be an executive producer for both films and hopefully, as long as schedule allows, play 2 dual roles in Truly Trudy, which is the second movie. In the same vein of that, we had the opportunity to get another SNL cast member who would come on as producers of both movies, but be in the first movie, Casually Cool, which is more Rockford Files send up. And I have seen Naked Gun since we've last talked. I saw it the other day. Good. So I give it a solid B. This would be a separate conversation, but my takeaways are I am happy that it wasn't overstuffed with jokes. That was my complaint of the new Mystery Science Theater 3000 with Jonah Ray, was that there was too much joking, not enough air. My big notes for this are that I felt like there were times where there could have been some more jokes. I felt it was a little light. And my other note is I don't think Liam Neeson works for me. I think it feels like too much of a put on in a character. I think he does some things well in it, but I think Pamela Anderson was the one who nailed her
I'll give you that. There was one moment where I looked at something expecting there to be a joke and there wasn't, and it's like, but it's like the one time.
I had a few of those. There was
like a parking sign in the background.
Yeah,
and they were walking by it, and I looked at them thinking it would be a joke, and it wasn't. And it's like, I mean, there's been 4,000 jokes already in this movie, right. So like it's okay but like if you're watching Police Squad and there's a clearly visible sign in the background, that sign is a joke.
Yes.
But yes, I loved it, and I agree. Pamela Anderson was so good in it.
The scatting scene, the snowman scene, the scatting scene. Liam, my favorite joke with Liam, and I know it's an old joke because it's just wordplay, is what's his nuts, who's known for just playing a villain and everything, and his henchman, the main villain guy, he's the main bad guy in X-Men Wolverine Origins.
Yeah, no, I forget that dude's name. But
and his sidekick played the Blob, in X-Men Wolverine Origins. They've worked together, I think, a handful of times. But anyway, what's the joke that he says? He's like, "And may I ask you how you're going to do that?" And Drevin goes, "Yeah, you can ask." And then they just sit there in silence for a little bit. I was like, I like I like those jokes. I like little things like that. So there were some opportunities where I felt like those didn't happen. So anyway, back to our thing. It doesn't conflict with. I was a little worried of seeing it being like, oh, am I maybe stepping in some of those waters of having some like wet hot American summer vibes? Luckily, it did not. One joke was similar in an earlier Truly Trudy script, but they had done it in Police. They had done it in Police Squad and Naked Gun before, which is uh, voiceover narration bleeding in amongst multiple characters.
Yeah.
But we had exercised that out of an earlier draft. But so we had this opportunity that we could have maybe some more eyes and attraction to this first project. But I'm not going to mention the name on this one because, again, not with the
John
Belushi.
Belushi.
A similar reason.
We're bringing him back
for one movie only. But the cost of it was going to be $2,000 to set up, a guaranteed $2,000 to do a show while in town, 2 nights of stand-up, that would be guaranteed. Airfare, lodging, which is not crazy, but then $2,000 to act in the film for 2 days.
Mhm.
And it had to be all shot out in 2 days. So $1,000 a day. And again, not a crazy, and we still may work with this person because the relationship was good. It just was at the end of the day. I was just like, oh yeah, and this is great and all of this. But I was like, so here's all the stuff that we would have to do to secure that. The things that I knew we would have to do, which would make things harder on that much smaller film.
Yeah.
And it would go again. It would be the antithesis of why we would be doing that film. And so I had to come to the hard decision. I was like, well, this is doable, but like what? We're going to spend more than $4,000 on one actor when the budget's going to be 7,000 or 10,000. I was like, we can't.
Well, that's
do
like
it.
the song that's like, I could give you guys $2,000, or I could hire PR companies so that people actually watch this thing, which is what I ended up doing. I think I paid like $75 for the song that I got the kid to write.
And completely happy, no notes.
Oh, it was great. I sent him the end credits for Buckaroo Banzai. I was like, I need a song that sounds kind of like this.
Yeah.
He sent me one, and then there were like a couple minor changes that I asked for, and then he did them and was like, yep, this is close enough that it works as a joke, but it also like sounds good for people who won't understand that it is a joke.
Do you like the song?
Yeah, it's a bop.
Okay, good.
I put it on while I'm making love.
But you're really good at your expertise love making skills.
Well, it's a 45-second track, so that's usually all it takes.
No, it's 30 seconds on me, buddy.
He looped it a bunch. It is like I forget how long it is, but it's like 7. It's very long for a song, not very long for
love making
sesh.
For a sesh.
It's like 7 or 8 minutes. You know, like you could get it done, but take your time out there.
Yeah. Better payoff. Weird segue. So I'm not going to go too deep into it just because it's personal information. But we did have Anna evaluated.
Oh,
and it came back with a lot of clarity on things that we kind of already suspected, but everything is good in the long run of things, I believe, and we're just on a positive path to help her live the best that she can in the body that she's in the brain that she's in. So if anybody had heard earlier episodes where we were discussing
you've mentioned it a couple times, so
I thought I did, so I didn't. Again, not talking about the specifics of it. She doesn't have Glenn Tickle level IQ. Only slightly off. But she's doing well. So this week was hard on her. Her brothers. This is her second week of first grade, but her brothers were having their first week of having to go to a daycare while their babysitter is recovering Okay. All right. Like each of them have had different things each day that they've done better with. Like Paul didn't nap great on the first day. Gus Gus didn't love his lunch yesterday. Like, but then they come home and I'm not seeing any residuals of like today's my first day of picking him up from the daycare
Okay.
though. So that'll be
I did for
interesting.
a couple seconds think, why would they pay you residuals to send your kids to daycare?
Like like residual emotions or
Yeah,
trauma,
no.
like that's coming. Like,
I
oh,
figured it out.
because
It
that's
just
Anna.
took longer than it should because, again, I got home at 2 a.m.
But again, like who knows? Like these boys, like Gus takes after Anna a lot, and Paul's very much like Allie. But who knows? At least we have already this awareness of certain things if one of them does exude ADHD or anxiety.
Yeah.
So we're kind of got, a leg up on it. But so Monday, because of that being different, Anna had a real hard time. And the plans of all of us going together, me driving separate and seeing the boys off their first day of daycare didn't happen, turned into me driving Anna just to school while Allie took the boys, even though Allie also works at the same school Anna goes to because
Yeah.
shit went south. And, but
My kids start school next week, and I'm really looking
looking forward to it,
to
but not looking forward to it.
everyone. No, I just know because it's transitions are what is the biggest
Transitions.
challenge, and when suddenly everyone's operating on a different schedule, it's gonna
Take some
be rough.
time
I
to
mean, my older
become a
daughter, she's
routine.
going into 7th grade, so like it's not like this is the first time we've done it. It's like I
Oh, but it's the
know,
worst. Seventh grade's the worst grade.
yeah, I know what to expect for like the first couple weeks of school. So it's not like because when she started, she was going to kindergarten, and like
Yeah.
she would come back and it'd just kind of be a nightmare. We talked to her teacher, and she's like, "Well, it's pretty common because like kids, are trying so hard to be on their best behavior during school, and then they get home and they just can't anymore."
But because Allie teaches at Anna's school, she has to she has to hear so frequently, "Oh my God, Anna's awesome. What a good, what a good kid, like striving, helping other kids." And Allie's just like gritting her teeth, just like,
Yeah,
sure glad that's how she is at school.
yeah.
Not saying like she's constantly a nightmare,
No, but
but
it's
it's
usually like that
everything you
right
just said.
after
Yeah.
school time because it's like
Yeah.
you've been
Holding it
you've
in.
been holding it together for so long, and then you get home and it's like, yeah, I'm kind of done following rules for a little bit. I'm just gonna be a little wild child for a while, which is
This was an interesting discovery. The one thing I will say from the evaluation that it seemed like a duh moment, but then when hearing it out loud, I was like, oh yeah. So a point of frustration because Anna is ADHD and has anxiety confirmed now is she'll say, I'm bored. I don't know what to do.
yeah,
And I'll be like, well, that's unfortunate because you have so many toys and you have so many things. And like, I'm working real hard on I had already been working hard on not guilting and not shaming because I think guilt is something that Allie and I definitely recognize from our parents, like in that generation. And we're not even like staunch Catholics or anything.
yeah.
But so I'm like, I don't want to say that to her anymore. I'm not trying to guilt her. Like it doesn't also just doesn't help.
It's something my younger daughter says a lot too, and it genuinely drives me crazy. And I'm kind of in the same boat of like, I gotta figure out a better way to respond.
So here's what we were told. And that when that is happening, yeah, don't do the guilt shame thing. Anna needs instruction. She needs to be told what two things she could do and go do it. Like
Yeah,
not just go and play. They're like, we think she literally needs, all right, you need to go play with your Barbies and do this, or Gabby's dollhouse and do this. And she's like, the therapist said, the doctor said, try that. She's like, based on the evaluation, she's like, I think that's what she needs because she gets anxious because she does have stuff
right,
that she could do. She just can't figure out because she likes like the routine. She likes being told what to do
right.
or
It's
knowing.
the decision making of it of like,
Yeah.
well, I don't know what of the many things that I could be doing right now, I can't decide what one I should be doing.
Yeah. And that I mean, I was just like, oh yeah, of course, like that makes so much more sense. And it did help for me. Again, I don't want to guilt. I don't want to shame. I don't want to, here's the other one, not saying the punishment with the possibility of what the punishment is
Yeah.
before when you're in trying the de-escalation mode.
Yeah, we picked up on that one a while ago. Of just like, oh, like if we say, if you don't do this, we're taking the iPad away, then it's over. She's gonna lose her mind.
Yeah.
Like,
And also you're at your your most heightened point of frustration usually when you say those things. So the punishment also might not be worth the crime, especially after if what you're doing in the moment is trying to de-escalate them, trying to help them, trying to help them get through with these strategies and different coping,
mm-hmm.
to then be like, hey, just so you know, if this keeps on going, it's prison for you. Like it's like there doesn't need to be that, because then once you hopefully get through it and you're not adding to that frustration and that anger with them,
Mm-hmm.
when you get to the place where it's de-escalated or things are a little bit more rational and you can talk more or work through it, then you also as the parent are more clear-headed to be like, oh, and the punishment is this, and you're not reacting,
Right.
to how you're feeling.
And it
Might
should.
be.
I know the other thing. I know. I think this was years ago with my older daughter. Was like, oh, it should be the same. Like the punishment. Like it's not just like whatever you feel like in the moment.
Mm-hmm.
It's like no, like
Something that annoys you that's
there
like,
should be
good,
a
now here's the
direct
opportunity to get rid of this thing.
there should be a direct correlation to like, oh, a repeatable action of like, if you do this, this is what happens. Not
Mm-hmm.
daddy's in a bad mood, so now you're grounded for a week. Versus last time it was just like, oh, you can't watch that show for the rest of the day.
Yeah,
Or
and then
whatever.
they're like, this doesn't, because again, yeah, Anna is all uh about fairness, and like she will dissect how you say something. Oh, you would love this. Talk about like one, like you recognizing that I say things incorrectly or maybe not like in the proper full way. Anna will be like, oh, but what you said was this, this, and this. I'm like, you know what I meant. And she's like, I did not. Based on what you said, I took it literal.
Yeah.
I can't think of anything off the top of my head, but again, that is,
Well,
it's
the
just,
other thing, early on, when Amelia was very little, uh, if she was misbehaving, my wife Steph would be like, "All right, no more screens." It was like, "No, no, no, you got to break that up.
yeah,
You can't go straight
cold turkey.
no screens of any kind, right? Like if she's watching a show and misbehaving, we're like, hey, you have to stop doing this, or we're not going to watch Gabby's Dollhouse.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to turn that off. Or like then if she really escalates and is misbehaving, like, all right, you're gonna lose TV for the next couple hours, right? You won't be
Yes.
able to watch something until later. Or like if you just immediately go to no screen, or like when we were kids, I think it was like you're grounded. That is
In a locked
that's
room.
that's the 80s version of like you can't
Yeah.
do anything. Where it's like, well, no, like you can't go to this
Oh, and then the next thing was,
party.
and
You
next you will
can't
get
go
hit.
swimming.
Like
You can't.
you will get spanked.
Nah,
Like
not in
I'm
Jersey, baby.
not for you. Well, not in the tickle jersey, but yeah, I mean, yeah, I had a babysitter who had, I think I mentioned this, a switch on her wall.
Yeah. You had an insane babysitter, dog.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, I
It was
think
bad.
just general advice is like, yeah, break up the punishment into levels. Like instead of just immediately defaulting to like this big sweeping thing, you'd be like, look,
Hmm. Because ultimately, what you're also saying, yeah, it's you reacting, and that's your way to get out your frustration of like shouting in a pillow, because it's funny because you don't want to hurt the child, but you're also kind of just like, and I'm upset with this, and now I know this is going to hurt you.
yeah,
But I think there's maybe in the recesses of our minds of just being like, and maybe she will hate this big gesture so much that she will never act up again.
right, which is not ever gonna happen.
No, it's
It
not logical.
helps just being self aware enough because I've told my kid, I was like, hey, daddy's in a bad mood. What you're doing is really annoying. So if you could stop, like, if you don't stop, I'm already not happy. It's got nothing to do with you, but the thing that you were doing is making it worse. So don't do it. Like, as opposed to just like me, I didn't get a lot of sleep last night, right? Like, I've kind of got a headache right now. So if my kids are like running and doing stuff that they would normally be doing, they're not even. A lot of times, it's not even like my kids are doing anything wrong. It's just like, you guys are being loud, and daddy has a headache. I'm just gonna go sit in the other room with my headphones on.
Yeah.
But then
Your
sometimes
vibe and speed right now is not jiving with what
Yeah.
I'm comfortable with.
But then also sometimes if it's like, if I'm just here with them alone and we have to, or we're trying to go somewhere and do something, and then they are also being really irritating. It's like, guys, I can't handle the way that you are behaving right now.
Yeah.
Not what you guys are doing is bad. You need to stop it. It's just like, I need, could you guys fucking do me a favor here
Make a different choice.
and just stop what you're doing, because it's driving daddy nuts. And then it is less like, oh, you guys are misbehaving, you are being bad. It is just truly, it's like, I don't know, your weird dad just really can't. I can't hear the. I'm trying. Oh God, they were singing some song.
K-pop Demon Hunters. K-pop
No.
Demon Hunter. No, they're not into it.
Amelia went and watched that at her friend's house recently.
As an olive branch, because I buy
She
my
says it's good.
music on Apple and use iTunes, and I like making playlists. I bought that album in a connection of like solidarity between me and Anna yesterday, because I was like, okay, I'm gonna do a small gesture of kind of a reward. It also helps that I watched it with her and have heard the music over and over again, and I don't think it's nails on a fucking chalkboard. So I was like, the least I can do. I haven't bought a new album this month.
When the kids find media that's not unbearable, you really got to lean into letting it.
That's and again selfishly, like I'm not only just okay with that, I'm just like, yeah, I like this, I like what this does. I like how you are connecting to it. Just, it was all positive, so I was like, there's no reason for me not to do this. But yeah, what were they singing?
I don't. Oh, they watched this woman who will like run song lyrics through Google Translate, but through like 12 different languages, and then back to English, so they just become nonsense.
Yeah.
And they were just repeating a phrase from one of those, but it was like over and over, and they weren't singing the whole song. They were just saying, I'm not going to say what it is. Not that I think you will use it against me like crypto. Yeah. But someone listening might, and it is just the same 2-word phrase over and over again. Hearing people repeat things really irritates me.
Yeah.
But this in particular, it's like, guys, you need to say any other words. And they were just doing it over and over again. I was like, I'm begging you. And like, why? It's fun. It's like, no, I understand that it's fun for you. And again, it's like, the problem here is me, right? Like, you guys are just singing a fun song that you like. You're not misbehaving. It is just the way daddy's stupid brain works is, if I hear you guys repeat the same 2 words over and over again, it makes me want to jab a screwdriver into my face.
Well, and I think too, it's like Anna, and I know sometimes it is, she's just sometimes a balloon that air is like just leaking out of when it comes to like noises.
Hilarious. When Pee-wee does it.
Oh, gosh, I don't think we talked about. Stop me if I already said this on a past episode. So, did I tell you how she ended up watching Pee-wee's Big Adventure?
No.
Okay.
Or you did, and I forgot. But
okay, so we were watching an episode of Kiff, which is kind of like a Rocko's Modern Life kind of show, but for younger kids, less pervy, on Disney Plus.
Less focus on jackhammering
or spanking the monkey. Yeah, and there was a Rube Goldberg machine that the 2 lead characters put together so they can stay awake for the solar eclipse or the lunar eclipse at like 4:00 in the morning. And she was just like, "What is that?" And I was like, "Well, it has a name. It's a Rube Goldberg machine. It's a bunch of little machines put together to do something pretty insignificant or much smaller,
Mhm.
that you don't need a full overblown machine like this and blah blah blah." Like I broke down like the pieces they used or whatever. And she was like, "Oh, are there any other examples of this?" And I was like, "Oh man, I think you're ready." Like, because she knows the show a little bit, but she
Yeah.
never like glommed on. She remembers we watched the Christmas special last year, part of Daddio. If you haven't listened to that episode, I think it's a delight listening to our commentary. Um, I was like, Pee Wee's Big Adventure. I was like, it's the movie, and it was before the show, and so it's a little different. And she's like, okay. So we're watching it. The Tour de France dream sequence opening like took her a little bit. And then she's like, "Oh, it's a dream." I was like, "Yeah." And she's like, "Oh, that's his house, but it's not like his other house." I was like, "Right, this is one of the differences I'm talking about." But then it gets into the Rube Goldberg machine pretty quickly. Before we even start the movie, she has what is for one of her Barbies like designer glitter scotch tape. She doesn't know Pee Wee's Big Adventure.
Yeah.
Before we watch it, she takes two pieces of tape and pulls her nose up with it and
Yeah.
puts it on her face and sits down to watch Pee Wee's Big Adventure. And I can't believe I wasn't texting you like while this was happening. So then
I
the
mean,
Rube,
he did it on Playhouse. You might have seen it there.
maybe I don't know. She didn't, like I said, really glom onto the show as much as I had wanted, so I didn't force it. But so we see the Rube Goldberg machine. She loves it. She's like, "Does he just laugh all the time?" And I'm like, "Yeah, kind
Yeah.
of." And she's like, "How old is he?" And I was like, "Oh, we're asking big questions." Uh, but then when he goes into the bathroom with the tape and he starts taping his face, she looks at me like, and I was like, "Yep, it's pretty amazing."
It's adorable.
Her favorite joke, she loved tequila, guffawing laughing with tequila, just the absurdity of it and the
Yeah.
dancing. Loved it. A visual and word joke that she definitely got. Rule 3 was in Monty Landis and the magician shop,
Mhm.
and he goes, I put a box of things aside for you, Pee Wee, that I thought you would like." And he goes, "Shrunken head, I got one. Regular size head, large and and like laughed like shrunken
It's
head,
very funny.
regular head. Oh, like oh, that's weird, and like that's funny. And then just the pacing of it, she was just like, "Oh, Pee Wee, you've
Yeah.
done it."
How'd
Like
she handle Large Marge?
fine with it. I was kind
Because
of watching her just like
the magic shop, my kids were afraid of.
I thought that too because it's dark like
And
and
then
yeah.
Large Marge, absolutely not. I warned them because that was the thing. Like as a kid, I would leave the room because I loved watching that movie.
Hmm.
But like when Large Marge would come on, it's like, oh, I'm gonna go get a snack for a little bit, and I would like find an excuse to leave and then come back after it.
Yes.
But yeah, they thought Large Marge was too scary, and then
I'm gonna
they
be able
don't.
to see it for the first time ever in a movie theater for my. I forgot that it was its 40th
It's
anniversary.
playing at the Mahoning Drive-In this weekend.
I'm gonna have it as my triple feature for my 40th birthday party that you were invited to but politely declined. But
Yes.
I invited you knowing that you would not be able to make it.
Yeah. I checked the calendar to see if I could do it,
To see if you could swing it.
but I'm gonna be out of town, so I couldn't.
It's gonna be Pee Wee's Big Adventure is the first movie. Magnificent Seven with Yul Brynner, Steve
It's a
McQueen,
good one.
big cast. That's my favorite Western. And closing out the night, probably my all-time favorite movie, which I every time I watch it, I see a different influence it has something that I've done, is Rocky. So, but I had to put Magnificent Seven in the middle because I couldn't have back-to-back two movies with the a questionable mentality of grown men. Like I thought Pee Wee's Big Adventure and Rocky, one after
Yeah.
the other, would be a weird one.
I
Too.
use the scene where they find James Coburn in Magnificent Seven.
Oh, love it.
I use that to explain Dr. Mario to people because I talk about being very good at it. And then sometimes people will be like, I don't know, I played that game a lot as a kid. I could probably beat you. And I'm like, have you seen the Magnificent Seven? Like, I'm just sitting there trying to take a nap on a post. and then you're like, hey, play me in Dr. Mario, and I'm like, you don't have to do this. And then you like they'll keep insisting. It's like, look, here's my Switch friend code. This is not going to go good for you. And then they just keep. And then I beat them, and they're like, oh yeah, no, I thought I had a chance. It's like you didn't. There's like 5 people, and I know them.
I've yet to watch, due to lack of having a long stretch of time, and I don't like breaking up films. I have Kurosawa's entire filmography. That is not Seven Samurai is not one that I've watched, even though I have watched every almost Americanized version television series of
Yeah.
the Magnificent Seven. It's also what I've realized of like, oh, this is why I like blockbuster action movies. Like Magnificent Seven literally has everything that I love about a blockbuster action movie. It's a buddy cop movie.
Mhm.
It's a team movie. Like it's inspirational. Like they're saving the village. Like
Seven
it's got.
Samurai is very, very good. I think.
You think Magnificent Seven is better?
I think it's more fun.
Fun.
Like there are jokes in Seven Samurai.
Mm-hmm.
It is parts of it are also fun, but it is like I feel like when you're watching Magnificent Seven, there is a much greater sense of like, yeah, they're gonna save the town. Like
Oh,
everybody's gonna be fine.
one of my favorite
We're gonna
lines.
lose a couple guys along the way, but like it's gonna come out all right.
Because it's also a disaster movie.
Yeah, but when you watch
Seven Samurai.
Seven Samurai, it's a little more like, oh no, these people are in like legitimate danger.
Well, and there's probably more of
But the best version is the Three Amigos. So
the trade-off is probably nobility versus the meta commentary on these archetypal cowboy characters and the turn of the 20th century. I would imagine that is very specific to Magnificent Seven. And is there stuff like that in Seven Samurai?
I mean,
Where,
it's similar.
like the samurai is no longer a thing, kind of like the Jedi are no longer.
Yeah, I mean, that's why there's so many Western remakes of samurai movies and the other way around.
Yes.
Because it is like a comparable period of like cultural history for Japan and the US.
Western civilization.
But also like what's interesting about Westerns is like, well, cowboys in movies were never a real thing. Like that the world of cinema Westerns is almost entirely fabricated.
Yes.
I don't know how much of that is true about samurais. I know less about that. But
sure.
like, yeah, people lived in towns in the West. There was very little like
swordplay. There is theatricality that exists in cinema swordplay that doesn't necessarily in real, but there is a ballet sense to it. There is something, a choreographed feeling and athleticism and a sport of it where, yes, gunfighting, the pageantry of costumes and like the like all of that, that's more of like a James Bond, like fictional thing where, samurai, it's like dudes with swords who get really good at doing shit with swords. Like, that's why I like Lady Snowblood is one of my favorite samurai movies, because she's also it's a brutal one. It's a late 60s, but yeah, I also don't know. Like, I'm sure there's the Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon,
right?
Fantastical
where it's like,
stuff.
We're flying and bouncing around on bamboo canes. Where that's more like just full on magic. But I mean, like Yojimbo and Fistful of Dollars.
Yeah.
Right. Like, I don't think either one of those worlds existed in the way that they're portrayed in the film. Where it's like, like people lived in the town of Tombstone. There was a gunfight. Like, they had a sheriff and bad guys came in. But like,
yes,
the way people think about the American West is just not how it was. No. And I don't know that much about like the actual history of samurai, but I know just from
Well, the Revenant. There are certain movies where even Dances with Wolves is a romanticized, even it's still a fantastical
yeah,
kind of version, but you're getting closer to it. And then like the Revenant is more closer to these are the tales of the different people who are cattle ranchers. And I mean, I want to see. Well, have you ever seen Bone Tomahawk?
yeah,
Okay, pretty awesome. Like that's
yeah.
a
Good one.
horror movies and westerns are very work in a very similar plane for me of just like for all the different genres that you can do with inside of the genre. But there's plenty of people like my brother. If it's set in the Wild West, he's like, nope. Don't care what there's vampires. I don't care if there's time
Yeah.
travel. He's like, I don't care if it's film noir in the West. Don't want nothing West.
But yeah, I mean, just knowing from the filmmaking end of it, of that is why they're like literally the directors have been like, oh yes, when I was making a samurai movie, I pulled from American westerns because it is this period of time where like these men aren't as relevant as in a more industrial age moves into town,
Mm-hmm.
and then Western directors have been
Technology.
like, oh yeah, like
Yeah.
similar to these guys are basically samurai, where they had this duty to protect these towns, and then suddenly there's more people and there's proper law enforcement, and then what are they going to do? And it's like, right, but I don't think either one of those things ever was real. It's the thing of art imitating art instead of art imitating life,
Yes.
of where it's like, why so many Tarantino knockoff movies
Don't
suck,
work. Yeah.
because as much I'm not a big Tarantino fan, but the thing
Sure.
he is good at is identifying pieces of other stories and incorporating them in a way that is novel and interesting. But then you add one more degree of somebody being like, oh, well, like Tarantino's pulling from all these like samurai movies and these kung fu fights. And so then like if I pull from Tarantino, it's like, well, right, but now it's like you've diluted it too far. Like it is
Mm-hmm.
just
The copy of the copy of
you
the
are a
copy.
copy of a copy, and
Yeah.
you lack uh the skill that he does have of like, yes, he is genuinely very good at identifying things to rip off,
Mm-hmm.
to use a sensational. I don't think that's what he's doing. It's just Tarantino's not a guy that I was like, oh, this. It's just
Tarantino said, "I will steal from everything," and he says it now to own it or whatever, not
yeah,
playing the homage, kind of game. The word, because he's like it's like paint. He's
yeah,
like, yeah, you steal from art, you take from art because you're influenced by art, and I'm going to show you like it's the same kind of thing of like if anybody held like tried to say a copyright on um like a format for like a late night talk show or something, or it's just like, well,
yeah,
you can't do any more sketch comedy shows. It's like, well, you are, and you're going to be influenced probably by the best.
yeah. I mean, Tarantino's just an example of like, the thing you're doing isn't for me, but I'm not gonna act like I don't think he's good at what he does.
Yeah, and that's
Except
I
for
mean,
Kill Bill, which I love. Kill Bill,
even part two.
yeah. Even
I'm
part two, you son of a bitch.
I'm I would love to see the whole bloody affair. I would love to see
I've
the
watched
edit.
them back to back, but I've not seen the re-edited
Yeah, I think I might be.
version.
I am softer on Kill Bill 2 later. Obviously, again, that parental thing of like just being reactionary when I first saw it, and I was just like, that was fucking boring. Like, God, where like, and it was not as good. It seemed hokier this time around, and oh, the acting seemed worse.
I don't
And
know. It's been a while since I've seen it, but I know.
the first movie, they're literally two different movies. So the way they broke them up, that's why I would like to see that. I'd like to see Topher Grace's Star Wars ultimate
Yeah,
cut as well. But yeah, I think Death Proof is the only thing of his that I straight
ugh.
up don't like. And
That
I think
is
Inglorious Bastards, I don't care for it, but it's not because of anything of what the movie is. It's
Death
just
Proof is real bottom of the barrel for me, of like a pretty big barrel of stuff I don't like. Um Inglorious Bastards I didn't love. I've not rewatched it. recently, and probably should, given the state of the world. But
Because
like
we're all going to need to start learning.
the big finale of Inglorious Bastards is like, right, but I mean, not to be that guy, but it's like, right, but that didn't happen. So now, like, why would I care about anything else that happened in this movie if your big set piece I know that's not how it went, you know?
Right.
And then it's like, oh, is this like an alternate? I don't want to think about it. I just
Well, you know what the title of Inglourious Bastards originally was? Once Upon a Time in Nazi Germany. So he could literally say this is a fairy tale.
yeah.
So then what does he do? He then does that in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. And the novel doesn't end that way. And is a good example
If it was
of.
2.5 hours of people blowing up Hitler, I would have loved that movie. Like,
And if the movie was called 2.5 hours of blowing up Hitler, or
I'll watch
just
that.
blowing up Hitler.
Yeah.
Well, so that's, I mean, that was my original I'm fucking like Tarantino needs to be criticized by anything we talk about, but, yeah, I thought it was more the Dirty Dozen, more that the trailer I sort of just like, oh, and see this ragtag team fucking go out and attack these Nazis and yeah.
Yeah.
And then it was part of that. And I like the bunkers. I like the bunker bar scene. But then then the Hitler blowing up Hitler, shooting him scene, it felt like 3 different movies in one that I never felt on board with any of the 3 movies.
Mm-hmm.
And so I liked Hateful Eight. I like Django. I like Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
So I don't think I've ever seen Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I've watched the other ones. I don't remember anything about Hateful Eight other than I put it on kind of begrudgingly. I don't even know that I made it through to the end. What was the one before that?
Django Unchained.
Is there another one around that time?
Hateful Eight.
No, that's the one that we were just talking about.
I know it, but I'm saying those are his 2 westerns back to back. It goes it goes Death Proof, Inglorious Bastards, Django Unchained, Hateful Eight, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. And before that is Kill Bill 2, Kill Bill 1, Jackie Brown, Pulp Fiction, Reservoir Dogs.
I'm just not interested in what you're doing, kid. You know?
I think that's, I've, it's Kevin Smith, I've moved away from that, but still the motivation and what they did, different projects that I glom onto or not. Like, that's how I feel about my stuff, like whether it be Sweetmeats or what we're getting ready to do. I kind of think that if at the pitch of like the 1-line pitch, if you're not interested at all in that 1-line pitch, then I'm just like, oh man, you shouldn't watch the movie. Like, this is not going to be the thing for you. But I'm kind of okay with that. And it's just going to be the hardest question isn't going to be about any of the filmmaking. It's going to be when we're done with all of it going, how do we get this in front of people? And again, you spending that money on a PR firm that's probably where we're going to have to end up spending
so much money.
I know, but that's it's like Albert Brooks in the interview with Mark Maron, where he talks about what is it, the how to bomb in Israel or whatever, or Muslim Israel or something.
I know what you mean.
Sony didn't promote it at all. And he's like, for years, he's like, I thought money was wasted on marketing. And he's like, you know what that movie needed? Marketing.
Yeah.
So
it was like the biggest single expense on CrimeLink ended up being hiring the PR firm. But it's like, people watched it. It's I looked the other day because I had to send the link to somebody. It's at 88,000 views.
Damn, nice.
I would love to hit 100. That feels like a good number to hit. But again, I didn't have an expectation of like, I don't know how many people are going to watch this, because like the dry bar blowing up and then like having clips really blow up on TikTok sometimes, it's like, oh, I don't have a good sense of what's a good number anymore. Like, I've had stuff that's gotten millions of views. That's great. I don't think everything I do is going to get millions of views. That would be an insane expectation. But yeah, well, now for the next one, like when I film Tries to Be a Person and put that up, it's like, well, I would like it to get more than the last one.
Yeah.
So, but Good Grief was also where it's like, I don't know. This is like more of a niche thing because that's again, if you're not down for the log line of Good Grief, I don't blame you. But
Right. Yeah. If you don't want to watch.
I'm limiting the potential audience for people who want to watch it. But Crime League, it's just like, I don't know. You like jokes? Here's jokes. And then with Tries to Be a Person, it is mostly jokes, but it's like you are going to listen to a 42-year-old man talk about autism for quite a bit.
But that's as you grow as a comedian, as you start honing in more on answering that question, like, well, what is Glen Tickle comedy? It's like, well, now you're answering it.
Yeah.
You're putting it on Front Street, what each thing is of like figuring out who you are and how you want to be seen. And so, I mean, I think that is, why not, right? Like, if you can figure it out and you're happy with it and you find out that also people are going to pay you.
Yeah. I mean, I think it'll work. I was not sure since the next one, it's not full on like single topic one man show. It is a lot of just jokes. It's just a lot of the jokes then tie together with a theme. But 2 of the 3 shows I did on this cruise, I mentioned from the stage that I was autistic, and it got a good reaction both times. The first one, again, was like just the dad telling me at breakfast the next morning that his autistic son was there with him and like was excited that I mentioned it. And then,
oh, you thought there would be an annoyance or people being like, oh, I'm tired of hearing about how autistic people
no,
are.
I didn't think it was gonna get booed. It's just like, oh, like I
booed, and I did this because I heard you suggest it on your podcast.
you
Boo!
keep telling us to do it more. We don't know why.
I'd rather laugh. Boo.
But for the late night show, because I didn't know who all was going to be there who had seen the Welcome Aboard show, so I just asked at the beginning. I was like, "Hey,
I think that's fair.
Just to get like a vibe of who I'm working with, who was at the Welcome Aboard show," and it was sounded like about half, maybe a little more. And I was like, "All right, just for the rest of you, just to get you caught up, I'm a 42-year-old autistic man from New Jersey with a weird fascination on Mr. T, and I got a dumb last name. All right, now you're caught up." And there was like a pop when I said I'm a 42-year-old autistic man. Like a couple people in the audience were like, yeah, because then after the show, a bunch of people wanted to talk to me about like the nerd references that I made. I did the Back to the Future joke about the Cybertruck. I talked about Jurassic Park. I mentioned in the DeLorean joke, somebody in the audience goes, "A TARDIS is better," and I was like, "It is." And then I talked to them about how like, because I did the joke about naming my
TARDIS is better.
Yeah, it's time and relative dimension. You can go anywhere. But
I mean, also the DeLorean starts off with a mistake.
Yeah,
like no.
But I did the joke about naming my kid Tess.
Yeah,
because I did it on the late night show because it felt, even though it's like technically clean and I did it on Dry Bar, like it feels weird when there's a 7-year-old sitting in front of you to say testicle into a microphone. But when the woman called out that the TARDIS is better, I was like, oh, and then I said like, just, we didn't really name her Tess, we just named her after a Doctor Who character, and then they wanted to talk to me about Doctor Who after the show. Yeah. I don't remember why I started talking about
that. You're just the positivity of mentioning autism.
Yeah, because when and again, I wasn't really doing jokes about it on these shows because I feel like Cruise Gig isn't like the venue for here's my kind of navel gazy, introspective, very personal comedy about medical diagnoses.
It's not for your one-man show unless you're specifically hired for this cruise, and then that cruise is probably going to have some sort of like, everybody there is probably Spectrum, or they love your Patton Oswalt approach to pop culture.
Oh, like, please, can we do can we please do an autistic cruise, people?
Dude, you and I mean, would thrive. Like, people just want it to be navel gazy, nerdy, and strongly opinionated about things that other people have strong opinions and theories about.
Yeah.
Easy. We are not
Well, the cruise
honing
my
in
wife
on
did. Like she went. It was like a couple bands that her and her friends were doing a cruise. So it was
fucking Kevin
fans.
Smith has a
Yeah,
cruise. Jake Rubel is doing his second
I know.
cruise, and I'm just like, yeah, you're right. I don't think I could perform on that one as much as I would probably jive with. I would be too much of a fan who's also then going to the other events while I'm not performing.
Yeah, I would love to, Kevin. Invite me. I'll perform on your cruise. Again, but also because like, well, I don't know. I've met him a couple of times, so I feel like all the concern that I would be too much of a fan. I'm like, no, that's out of my system at this point. Like,
If hired by him or by proxy by someone that I know or whatever association, yes, that this goes back to I did go to a Q&A and met him at Wizard World Chicago back in the early 2000s when those still existed, and I have my Chasing Amy clerk script signed. But I don't want to talk to him and meet him again in a fan situation. I want it to be as somewhat not as a colleague, but more
yeah.
of
Well, I met
working in
him.
some facility.
I asked a question at a Q&A at a Wizard World years and years ago, and then got to do the How Superman Shaves interview with him when I was at Geekosystem.
Great. Yeah.
And that was when we ended up just like spending most of the day together. And it's like, yeah, no, that's the kind of like when I was talking about Peter Weller and stuff, it's like that's the interaction I want to have with people. I don't want to just buy a ticket to say I got to meet most people.
My question to Kevin Smith,
Mr. T, though, for sure.
Again though, but I feel like we can make that happen.
I would
with
I
own
would
celebrity,
rather
yeah.
do an actual thing with Mr. T.
Yeah.
But I am willing, if the one interaction I get with Mr. T is I bought a ticket.
You have a guaranteed Mr. T. You can tee off on the.
You're better than this.
Gosh, man, I would hope by now you would realize that I'm not. But so I remember the question that I asked. I was sitting in the fucking front row, and I'm like, "Where's the line for the Q&A? I've been waiting for this. Like, fucking loving evening with Kevin Smith. I'm gonna ask him. Does he think? Who does he think has handled his dialogue the best at this point? Which I think Jersey Girl has been his most recent to come out, and all the stories with that. And if it's Ben Affleck, like, why do you think? And I was just like, oh man, like because he's talked about Affleck, like we're gonna like maybe he's gonna tell the first time like when he gave him more lines than just Mallrats, or it being a better, good-looking version of him. Like this is gonna be what a good story this is gonna be. And he was just like, yeah, it's Ben. What like, and he was just like, "What do you want?"
The
Like,
shortest answer.
and he's just like, "What?" He's just like, "What do you?"
Question.
He's just like, "Yeah, he does it well." Like, what do you want to know? And I like, it was a little dicky, but I had never, like, I had built up this like wonderland of this fantasia of like, oh, what this is gonna do, and now we're gonna be best friends, and because it wasn't a stupid fucking like,
Yeah.
But then I just was so shut down. But then later. And he did get into like a story that was decent or whatever, but it almost seemed more like a hem pivot for like a question that he thought was shitty. But then later he was just like, "Oh, and hey man, like yeah, Ben, like he's great and just this." I was like, "Man, you could have fucking said that on stage." Like
he just filmed another special.
Oh, did he do it at Smod Castle?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I think a producer and star of Sweetmeats, probably actor and performer of song for a future project, Nick Greystone, I think went to that taping up there for his birthday, for his 50th birthday? 55th. Sweet Jesus, old man.
Yeah.
All right, let's end on something positive because I got to pee and I got to get going.
Yeah, I got to go. I promised the kids donuts when we were done with this.
Ooh, what kind of donuts?
Ben Affleck's favorite brand.
Oh, you're gonna get
there's
fucking
3 of them in my town for some reason.
Of course they are.
My town's not that big.
Look at you.
We don't have a lot of other donut options.
Really?
Yeah.
No, like local bakeries that like you throw to?
Incredible bagel place.
But the kids ain't into bagels.
No, they have like not donuts, but they'll do like other baked goods.
Yeah.
They make these little bears that I get for the kids sometimes, but they're not always there, so I can't like
Can't bank on the bears.
I can't be like, ooh, you guys want to go get those little bears? Because then we get there and they don't have them.
Ooh, and then you have to find another little bear to get them.
I just want a bagel so bad.
Get yourself one of those bagels. Because the one at DD is not that good, and neither is their coffee. The coffee sucks.
They don't do anything good. Really.
If you make good coffee at home, you realize how much outside coffee sucks.
I make great coffee at home. How dare you?
Hey, look, I make really fucking good coffee. Okay, I buy the coffee.
That shit myself.
I know how good my fucking coffee is because I do it. Okay.
Is this your Tarantino?
No, my Tarantino is Norm Macdonald's Tarantino. Just because Norm's just knocking it out of the park. R.I.P. Norm. Sorry, I don't know why. I've been thinking of Norm a lot.
Positive.
Positive. Norm Macdonald's still dead. Norm Macdonald's still dead.
Yeah.
Oh, I work at a coffee place, and our coffee is awful. It has weirdly become watered down hot water. More and more over the years.
That's my nephew again. He does in fact work at a Dunkin' Donuts.
Oh,
my sister loves.
People
don't tell your mom I said Dunkin' Donuts is terrible.
My mother-in-law, Brenda.
You can tell your mom, Ricky. I was talking to my nephew.
No, my mother-in-law, she loves it. She likes getting it. She likes getting that DD. You know what I'm saying? That double D. All right, I'm about to pee my pants. My positive thing is some people like it.
when they pee their pants?
Wait, my positive thing. SNL 50th documentaries, fantastic. I'm watching the last one, which is The Weird Year. And if you are an SNL fan, a deep dive documentary about the 85 to 86 year. Holy smokes. Couldn't love it more.
The video game Monster Train.
Monster Train. I need to know more though. Now.
It's a deck building.
Oh, okay. Never mind. I don't need to know anything more.
Game. You get cards that are different monsters or spells. I killed a lot of time on the cruise playing Monster Train. I had a really good time.
Monster Train on the boat.
Oh, I almost